Yo, what's good, boys? Welcome back to the channel. Today I made around $7,000 trading NQ, caught a long in Asia session. I'm going to be breaking down exactly why I took the trade that I did, how I have around the 80% win rate on my XFAs right now, as well as we're just going to go over in detail what I saw to take this trade. I'm going to keep this video nice and short and sweet for you guys. So yeah, let's get right into it. So looking at the chart here was pretty much the trade that I ended up taking for around the 6.5 R and making around $7,000 on the day. Here we have the XFAs on Topstep right here, also sitting right now at around 80% win rate on those, as well as I took this on an Apex, which I'm kind of just playing around with Apex right now. Also, here are the actual executions if you want to take a look at that. I did take a break-even trade before this. I moved aggressive break-even pretty much at 101 RR. So first trade got hit break-even, and then we actually opened up that unfilled 15-minute below, which was my second entry right there for longs, and ended up taking price all the way to the upside towards true day open, which we're actually going to break down in just 1 second. And also here is another picture right there, just so that you guys see that I actually took this on my accounts. You know, I'm not just one of these YouTube gurus that have no idea what they're talking about. I actually trade live capital, I trade funded accounts. All that aside, let's get right into the trade recap. Pretty much this was a very simple trade. All that I used was bias, having a strong draw on liquidity, higher time frame, and waiting on an imbalance to get retapped to continue price back up to the upside. And my target here was previous day true day open. So if we actually pull up the kill zones here, we can go more in detail. Also, one of the low-hanging fruit targets would have been this New York PM high, but I did have high confidence that we would actually run a bit higher towards this true day open from the previous day, which actually ended up top ticking this entire short to the downside. So that would have been a good short as well. I know somebody in my community as well ended up taking this short, which was absolutely beautiful. But yeah, let's break down this entry. Let's hop on the higher time frames as well. Let's hop right into replay mode as well. Right here, we'll go on the higher time frames and I'll go over literally everything that I saw. So first, I always like to start off my trades on the weekly time frame. So looking at the weekly, let's remove drawings for right now. Looking at the weekly, you know, we're kind of just in the middle of this weekly candle. Not really any clean sweeps or anything like that. We do have a rejection block right here, which we kind of reacted out of the 50% of. Wicked out, ran higher, didn't really have any SMT here, no sweep here or anything like that on the weekly time frame. But this wick does tell me a lot, because this tells me that we're basically rejecting bearishness pretty much. We're not displacing to the downside. We're wicking out of this PDRA, which was the rejection block right there, as well as we are also in this weekly fair value gap right there. So pretty much had two things that we reacted out of, this FVG right here and the rejection block, right? Big ass rejection wick on the weekly going down to the daily. What do I see? We start actually displacing to the upside, closing bullish right here. We did have a bearish closure the previous day, but momentum to the upside is clearly there, right? Kind of bullish market structure, and we're going to see this better on the lower time frame. So if we actually go down to the 4 hour now, so we went weekly, daily, now we'll go 4 hour. Looking at the 4 hour time frame right here. Also keeping in mind ES, I always like to look for SMTs if we have any. Here we did not have any SMTs, but what I saw here we also had was this rejection of this order block on the 4 hour time frame. So wicked into that, reacted out, right? Strong ass wick out. What do we have above? We have this obvious wick on the 4 hour right there. Also, if we look at the daily, we also just swept out the previous day low. So previous candle low was right there. So this is kind of like a CRT. Took out previous day low. We also tapped into this imbalance, this kind of gap that we had in price right there. So we'll keep that in mind. Higher time frame, I'm pretty much just bullish, right? Took out previous day low, rejected this imbalance that we had in price on the daily time frame. Coming down to the 4 hour time frame, we also swept out this low here, right there, took that out. So overall, I'm just pretty bullish because of that, mainly because of the previous day low sweep as well. Coming into Asia session, we have this New York PM high above. We also have this true day open above right here, so we'll mark that up. TDO right there, true day open, New York PM high right here as well. We'll keep that in mind as well. And pretty much just based on this structure in general, respecting bullish PD arrays, disrespecting bearish, right? Closing above kebabs, shifting structure higher. We have an obvious session liquidity pull above. We have true day open above, respecting bullish gaps, wicking out of 50%, right? So all of this is telling me that we're pretty much in a bullish order flow and we could see continuation to the upside. So what will I now wait on, or what did I wait on here? For example, I waited on this 15-minute candle to close and pretty much make a imbalance in price right here. 8:30 p.m. opens, and what do we now have below? We have an unfilled 15-minute gap, which was actually my entry right off that 15-minute gap tap. So let's actually go back here. TradingView replay is very bad. It kind of shows you what happens, but pretty much had a long limit set right here at that gap. A bit tighter of a stop because this was also 50% of this range. So if price were to tap back into this imbalance, this would have also rebalanced equilibrium. Stop loss would have been kind of below OTE. First target was definitely these PM highs, but higher time frame, like we went over on the daily, weekly, 4-hour, I'm super bullish. So my target was actually true day open for a bit better of a RR than just that PM high. And especially once I saw us tap this PM high, was still bullish because I saw the momentum that we had through this high. So I pretty much wanted to see price smash through this high, not really reverse there. We did have a big pullback after that high got hit, but ended up still delivering nicely. My limit was on this 15-minute imbalance that we had below, just that unfilled gap. It was never tapped, so it was a pretty strong level that price could react off of. So I had 2 contracts there, got tapped in right there. My stop loss was around $240 right there. And yeah, I did have a tighter stop here. Normally I run a bit looser of a stop, but this was Asia and price was moving super slow. So I had my stop below this kind of OTE zone, as well as I had it below that 15-minute fair value gap in general. Letting price kind of play out here. Went break even at a 101, and also another break even point would have actually been this Asia high. Good spot to break even at. Stop was right at break even there. And yeah, main target was true day open because of the higher time frame narrative that I had. So I was basically just letting this run. Also, when we hit this PM high, we had a nice closure above it actually on the 1 minute. We really didn't wick out or anything. I knew that we would have a nice pullback into this range after we took out that PM high, so I wasn't too worried. But I just had very high confidence in the higher time frame narrative that I had in this example. So we did end up pulling back a good bit, pulled back into OTE, ran higher. And then Asia was actually very choppy. Ended up chopping a lot, tapping into 50%, reacting, hitting back into OTE, and almost got hit break even here in this chop. Actually crazy amount of chop that we had, but entry was very good, ended up surviving. My TP was right at that true day open for around 1700. Top ticked that TP, which was actually a beautiful short entry, and I saw somebody actually took this in my community as well. But yeah, that would have been a good short entry just because that was like my external drawn liquidity, my main external target there. Oh, and also forgot to mention, on some of my accounts, I ended up closing around a 104, just securing a good base hit, just like that. On some of my fundeds, what I like to do is just take base hits. Took 104 on these accounts, around the PM high. This was a level where we could have reacted out, which we did. But yeah, take a base hit on some accounts, and then on other accounts, let this run towards that true day open pretty much. But yeah, right now on these XFAs sitting at around 80% win rate. Also got some apexes, looking to just scale my capital pretty much. But as you guys know, I love trading. mainly with Topstep. But yeah, definitely do want to scale to other firms. If you made it all the way until the end of this video, drop a W in the comments below, or just ask any questions that may be on your mind. I reply to literally every single comment in there. So yeah, make sure to drop something below, hit that like button as well. And also, if you're a trader that's not yet funded with a prop firm, you haven't secured your first ever prop firm payout, or if you're just struggling with consistency in general and you need somebody to hold you accountable, I currently have an offer where I guarantee to work with you one-on-one until you're funded over 250K with prop firms and receive your first ever prop firm payouts. So if that's something you're interested in, first link in the description for that.